Behind today. We're going to be really talking about, how should we act in society? The Torah portion this week is all about, kind of social rules and what kind of pieces of examples of social behavior, things we should and shouldn't do. There's a lot of stuff in there about slaves and stuff like that, but I really wanted to think about the behavior that, hello Irene, the behavior that we exhibit every day. And what do we think about as we make our way through the day? Do we think about our actions, or do we just about acting in such a way that benefits us? And a lot of what they talk about in this Torah portion are, things like if you dig a pit, you got to put something around it so someone won't fall into it. My wife knows that well because 30-something years ago, she actually fell into a pit in the street because someone hadn't marked it clearly enough. Or if there's a parapet on your roof, you need to, if there's a roof, if you let your animals graze and they graze onto someone else's property and eat that land, you're responsible for it. If someone lends you responsible for it, there's a whole bunch of rules. And as a matter of fact, this Torah portion has in it a whole series of laws that have to do with who's responsible for accidents. And I think what occurs to me about this is when it comes to our mindfulness and how we approach the world through a mindful lens, is if someone has said you're acting a certain way, that is accepted. If someone says, listen, this is, your animal went over, instead of becoming defensive, the mindful person would notice, number one, the feelings of the person that is coming to complain about what's going on, and two, to notice the behavior and say to yourself, well, what does that behavior say to me? What if someone did that to me? Is this person way out of whack in their anger or frustration or whatever it is? Or can it force you to kind of take a look and say, yeah, maybe I was being irresponsible there, or maybe that wasn't the right decision. Or, yeah, maybe I have been treating that person that way. There's a saying that we say, from us, is if a person's feeling something, that's valid feeling. If I'm upset because you said something off-putting to me, that's valid. My feeling is valid. And that whether you did it or not, whether you meant to do something, the fact that the person has the feeling meant that something went awry. Something is not right. And so on both sides of it, the mindful person thinks about what is going on. Why am I feeling these emotions so strongly? Was this something that was done to me? And it's kind of like a reflection on your actions or reactions to think about how true it is. Now, that's not to say, because I just said all of our emotions are true emotions, right? All of them are real and we're feeling all of them. But has the action actually caused this feeling, or is this something else that's layered on top of it? Like a psychologist would say, something that happened to you in your childhood or something that happened to you before. And I think overall, when it comes to our own behavior in the social world, to reflect upon what we do, when we do it, how it affects people, is important. And so many times, when something's pointed out to us, I myself am included in this, I can get defensive. Think of reasons why I did it. Excuses as to maybe why it wasn't so bad. Oh, looks like it's not so good right now. Okay, there we go. And so that act of reflecting in a real way, outside of the way that you you may perceive things have happened, to kind of pull yourself back a little bit and look on it and say, okay, what actually happened here, is a really helpful exercise. Now, I realize, and I'm fully well aware, that as human beings, we can't sit there and question every action, every emotion, every feeling, everything that we do. I mean, part of life is to be spontaneous and to do things as they come and to feel your life as you're going through it. And I wouldn't suggest that you need to pause and ask yourself the question, should you do this? Because, there's millions of times when we're just going to act and we're just going to do, and we're not really thinking about what we're doing. And I'm not suggesting that we need to pause and think about every little thing that we do, because then you'd never be able to do anything. You'd never be able to kind of be spontaneous or go with the flow of what's happening or keep things moving, because you're so concerned with how's this going to be, because it could be that every single thing that any of us say could be misconstrued by someone, or could be taken the wrong way, or could be just misheard. So if we're concentrating every moment on the things we're doing, should we say this, should we do this, then that defeats the purpose of living. But if something does occur where someone is offended, or someone does get upset, or something you did or you said causes a person to react a certain way, then is the time to kind of step back and take a look at the actions and the words. And I think if we all just did that periodically, instead of just saying, oh, that person is as my brother might say, a stupid idiot, which nobody should ever call anybody that, it might be more important to kind of look into yourself and say, okay, if that were me, how would I react? Or is it possible that what I said may have been insensitive, or what I did may have been insensitive? So it's that act of kind of coming away from yourself and reflecting on yourself. Not that it has to be done all the time, but the idea of this mindfulness is to try to understand why we say things, why we feel things, what's behind it, and how we can make it so that our lives are more loving, more compassionate, and that we're bringing about peace more. So this time that we're spending, and we'll head now into our quiet time, this time that we're spending is the time for us to kind of look at what's been happening to us in the day or yesterday or over the weekend, and to think about how we can notice those moments that happen. And then, listen, I invite you to welcome those moments into you, but you don't necessarily have to say, okay, I was bad. I mean, you can decide, well, given that circumstance, I may say that again, or I may do that again. So it's not that we need to edit ourselves, but to understand ourselves. I think that's the better way to say it. So let's get ourselves ready for a quiet time. We're just breathing normally. Regular breaths. Concentrating on the breath coming in, going out, coming back in, filling up our stomach or our chests. It's really just to kind of exist here. Just be for 20 minutes. You may find your mind taking you away from your breath. So just without judgment, just bring yourself back. Feel yourself breathing. I'm sure by now your mind is still taking you away. If you find yourself far away, no judgment. For the last several minutes we have of just silence. Just bring yourself back to your breath. No need to judge. Have left. We asked 2 questions based upon the priestly benediction. First, bless you and protect you. Ask, may I feel safe? May I feel blessed? Hopefully, that safety we're starting to feel a little bit more each day. May I feel safe. Sometimes I'm totally safe, but I might not feel it. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. That's a recognition of all the wonderful things that all of us have in our lives. We are truly blessed. May I feel that. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe with each breath. Offer yourself one or the other of these feelings. Throw it out there into the universe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed and safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed and safe. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel blessed and safe. And just for our final moments, I invite you just to go back to your breath for a moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is an honor to have you here. I hope that you were able to find some peace and stillness. And may you feel safe, feel blessed. Tomorrow.